Hi, welcome back to Garden on the Moors. It is the middle of August and the height of summer. So we're out exploring the local moorland around us to look for some cool wildflowers. So let's take a look. So the reason we're at this site to start off with is because we're looking for a really rare flower which is only found at 7 sites across the UK. And as part of a voluntary survey, I come here to look for it and record how well it's doing and that sort of thing, to send it off to different charities so they can help conserve the species. So we've just come onto the reserve and found our first rare flower. It's quite, it's doing quite well in our area in the Mid-Cornwall Moors, and it's this one here, which is the St Johnswort. This is Wavy leaves St Johnswort, or Wavy St Johnswort, and it is different from the others because it's quite a bushy plant. It really likes this damp, wet heathland moorland kind of area. Its stems are completely red, and the big giveaway is that its leaves are really wavy. If we get a nice zoom in, it's like the ocean waving away. So that's how we know it's the Wavy leaves St Johnswort, or Wavy St Johnswort. Just next to this Wavy St Johnswort, we've got all of this heather here. We actually have several species of heather in the UK, and in Cornwall we have about 5 I can think of, and this is one of the rarer ones. So although we're in Cornwall, this is Dorset Heath. So I don't want to get into the politics of it, but it's just the name of it, and you can tell that because its leaves on the branches come off of little like leaf stems. And also on its flowers, they look like little like heads, I guess, like they're like little balloons with a tube at the very end. So that's how you know this is Dorset Heath. We've got a few species here, so hopefully we'll find some more and we can show you to compare, but this is a really interesting one to find. So this whole area is really marshy and boggy, which is actually, and also has been left to grow, it is grazed with ponies and things, so it's keeping on top of the scrub, but it's allowed to grow and flower and flourish. And that's meant loads of really interesting flowers. So some around me here are this purple one. This is purple loosestrife, which is really good, a really good wildflower actually if you want to have a pond. It loves that sort of environment. It doesn't get too crazy, and also there's a nice bit of colour to your wildlife pond. Just behind we've got meadow sweet, which smells really nice. It's a really nice smelling flower, and also just nice to look at. It's got little like clouds of flowers, especially when it really takes over an area. It's kept in good check here from all the competition from other species like the grasses, the loosestrife, and also this really interesting fern behind me, which has barely started to grow actually. This is quite small for what they can get like in autumn. This is royal fern, which is quite a rare fern actually. It's got a little not a flowering spike, but the equivalent in fern worlds. They release, I can't remember what they're, like spore type things. But so this is royal fern, which is another one that loves that wetland, pond edge, boggy areas. So really good mix of plants. If you saw our springtime video looking at the wildflowers on the moors, you might remember that we found a plant called Bog Myrtle. Well, this is it in all its glory. This is a huge patch of it. I've never seen anything so thick as this, and it smells gorgeous. If we get a nice big crumble up the leaves and sniff it up, lovely. It smells so good. It's just like lovely oils and things. It smells really, really nice. And we've got a lovely flower just back here actually called hemp agrimony, which is this one here. It's called that because its leaves do look a little bit like hemp, but it's not. And it is absolutely loved by those the bigger butterflies that we have, like small tortoiseshells, red admirals and peacocks. They absolutely go nuts for this stuff. Well, talking about lovely plants that smell nice, we've got this bog myrtle here, but just down here in the damp area, we've got this flower, which smells the best. This is water mint, and it smells gorgeous, just like a nice mojito or something like that. We rub its leaves. Oh yeah, delish. So this is water mint. And you can tell that because it's got this these great big bubbles of really, really pale lilac-y white flowers. And also the smell, you just can't mistake it. It smells like I said, like a mojito, just a bit of a rum and some brown sugar. And it'd be absolutely delicious, I expect. Yeah. Great, we found it. So this is the plant we've been looking for. It's Heath Lobelia, which is one of the upright lobelias, a bit like what we have in gardens, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's this lovely deep purple colour. It's only found in 2 sites in Cornwall, but there's quite a lot at this patch here. So now all we need to do is just count how many plants there are in flower and what area they're covering. A lot of these plants here are running to seed, which is really good because hopefully they'll spread across throughout the site. We've got 11 plants here that I've counted. Some of them are quite big. And what they'll do is, a bit like the ones we have at home, they'll carry on flowering till the first frost. So they'll go from about July, the start of proper summer, all the way through till basically the first frost comes. And they like this kind of habitat where it's damp for part of the year. They really like acidic soils as well, but super rare in the UK, so really lucky to have them here, really close to home as well. It's a little bit later in the day now from when we were out on the moors, and we've come slightly north to the north coast into the sand dunes, and we're hoping to find an insect which is best found in the pitch black of night. We found glowworms. So this is a female and she's trying to attract a male by using that light coming out of her back end. Oh, you can just see her little legs there. Awesome. But yeah, we found a few so far, so hopefully we'll find some more in the dunes. Well, it's the following day and we had a brilliant time out on the sand dunes yesterday. We ended up finding 8 glowworms, which is just amazing. So yeah, really good time. What I've done is I've brought us here to the top of this moor here, which as you can see is absolutely brilliant heather and western gorse behind me. So western gorse is the sort of dwarf shrubby yellow flower, and then the heather is obviously the purple ones. We've got 3 species here, which I've got little cuttings of just to make it a bit easier for you. So if I get a bit closer. So earlier on, you may remember that we found Dorset Heath, which is quite a rare heather. Well, here are some of the 3 commoner species. The Dorset Heath, you may remember, had its leaves on quite long branches coming off of the main stem and had like a bubble with a little point at the end for its flowers. This one here is common heather, or just heather. This is your the main heather, I suppose, that you see around, although we actually see more of the bell heather, but we'll come to that in a moment. We can tell it's common heather because its flowers are open and its leaves are really scaly and pressed against the stem. So that's how we know that this is common heather. The next one we have is bell heather. Its leaves are in whorls of 3. So if I turn the stem around, you can see that its leaves are going around the stem in 3s. And its flowers are dark purple bell shapes. The next one is cross-leaved heath. Its leaves go around in 4s. So if I turn this stem around, you can hopefully see that the leaves are going around it in a 4 to make a cross shape. And its flowers are all at the top of the stem and are a much paler colour than the other heathers, or the ones that we see here. Cross-leaved heath likes it damp, so it grows in boggy areas and near ponds and things like that, whereas these 2 prefer it much drier, especially the common heather, which likes it quite sandy. We're on top of a hill here, which is why we mainly have the common and the bell heather, but when we came here we went through some damp areas and that's where we found the cross-leaved heath. The purple flowers you can see all around me are a lovely flower which grows in this wet, heathy grassland called Devil's Bit Scabious. It gets that name because the roots are really short, like the devil's bit off the bottom of them. But they're a beautiful flower that just bobs along the top of the grasses, and they're really important for conservation because these are basically the only food plant. There's a couple of others, but this is the main one, the one that they really rely on for the marsh fritillary butterfly, which is a beautiful butterfly. It's about this big. It only flies in June, excuse me, and it has a sort of mosaic pattern on its wings of orange, yellowy gold and brown, and it's absolutely beautiful. But its caterpillars will be on the leaves of these plants all throughout winter in a big sort of creche, I suppose, of caterpillars together in a silk web that they've made. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. And this is a really good site for them, for marsh fritillary butterflies, probably thanks to all these gorgeous Devil's Bit Scabious. We've just come to this pond and there's a load of, I think these are perch. They've got red fins and quite dark brown bodies. They're all hanging around underneath this sort of pondweed that's up around here, but there's loads of them. There's a few real big ones, most of them at sort of medium kind of size, but there's one or two that are, you know, you'd be happy to catch them on a line, those sort of size fish, but yeah, absolutely beautiful to see. And they're really close to the bank as well. Just above me here you can see this young Rowan tree, but it's absolutely covered up in berries. It's one of the first trees, for us anyways, certainly one of the first trees to make berries, which is a really good food source for lots of birds. As well, we've got the brambles around and the hurtleberries have already gone over. Just below it as well, we've got some more wild food with hazelnuts. So there we are, success. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give a big thumbs up and subscribe for more, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.